Hi, welcome to Snow Better Lifestyle. If you are new here, my name is Donna. I turned 61 in March. I raised 6 kids ages 28 to 39. I work full-time for a tech company remotely, and I started on a health journey in November of 2023, was titrated up in February of 2024, and I have lost a little over 80 pounds. So this morning I got on the scale. Excuse me, I always have an itchy nose. So this morning I got on the scale and I was actually just a little bit up. Last week I think we said I was 229, and this week I am 231, and I am totally okay with that because last week I lost 3.8 pounds. So like I've mentioned a few times now, my weight goes up and down. I'll have a week when I gain a pound or so, and then I'll have the next week I'll lose 3 or 4. And sometimes I won't lose any. But it always works out to be approximately a pound a week. I had a good week this week. I went into the office the one time I need to go into the office. And kind of the interesting thing is that when I got dressed to go in, because when I'm at home, it's the, comfort, that's all that I care about. My hair's up in a bun, and and unless I have a Zoom meeting, and then the Zoom meeting, I wear something a little nicer on top and things like that. But when I go into the office, I have to be completely dressed from top to bottom, and, everything. I have to take a shower. Which I do, but I definitely have to take a shower because I'm going to be among people. So this week, though, as I was going out the door to go get in the lift to go to work, I went, oh, wow, okay. And so it hit me just how much I've lost. I'm down 80 pounds. So most of the time I'm sitting at my computer, I'm not paying any attention to it. It doesn't matter to me on a day-to-day basis. But when I was walking out the door, I have a full-length mirror that I use for my hauls right in the hallway going out the door, and I stopped for a second and realized I really have lost a lot of weight. I was able to wear one of my nice blouses that I like with the sleeves and didn't feel ick. So that was kind of a neat, stop, wow, because most of the time I don't see any of that. And I think a lot of us are in that position. So this week, what I wanted to talk about, because, each week is pretty much the same for me in terms of what I eat and what I do, because I work remotely. I get up in the morning, I have a cup of coffee, I go, I had my breakfast, and maybe I'll watch something in the morning, and then I'll go sit at the computer and I'll work. There isn't a whole lot of excitement. I had my excitement. I raised 6 kids. I helped take care of my parents. I'm at, the other end of that life journey. My mom's in a nursing home right now, and my dad passed away 20 years ago. And my kids are all spread out and living their lives and doing fantastic. And so I don't have a whole lot going on during the week other than work, my puzzles, I'll crochet on occasion, things like that. Yeah, I don't have a whole lot going on. So it's pretty much the same each week, unless I try some new type of food or something. That said, I did have okay week. I gained a pound or so, but it wasn't a big deal, and so I'm not too worried about that. But what I want to talk about this week is that I watch an awful lot of videos. I consume a lot of YouTube. I'll sit there and crochet or work on my puzzle or whatever and put YouTube on and watch, and and I get introduced to new people that are in the GLP-1 community, which I love. My favorite things to watch are grocery hauls and meal planning and things like that, and for ideas for things that I can make for myself. But I watch Simply Taisha pretty regularly. I don't typically comment or anything, but I watch her videos. And she had a 2-minute video talking about progress isn't physical. And so what I wanted to, so that got me thinking about, and we've talked about this kind of off and on through all the videos I've done so far. And that got me thinking about 5 tips for pushing through when motivation dips. And someone said to me last week that they were really happy to see I was more motivated, because I had lost weight the week before. I hadn't lost weight this week. Last week I lost 3.8, and so they felt that helped with the motivation, and it's true. So 5 tips for pushing through when motivation dips. And one of the reasons I wanted to bring this up, and this it applies to everybody, but I think that if you have over 100 pounds to lose, or you have a lot of weight to lose, after you've been successfully doing this for, like, it's 15 months for me now, you do start to get kind of tired. And I brought this up off and on over the months. Oh, I didn't know, I was feeling snacky, or I wasn't feeling motivated. I didn't think I'd lost any weight. And a little bit too overly concerned with the numbers. And I've been doing that for quite a bit off and on, and I still have a long way to go. I've lost 80 pounds. 80, fantastic. Super happy about that. Proud of myself for going this long. 15 months on 5 milligrams, religiously taking my shot, religiously drinking my water, religiously eating what I need to eat in order to take care of my body instead of eating the way I used to. So I'm super proud of that. But I still get into these pockets, these modes where I feel a little tired, like I'm going to have to do this for the rest of my life. And that's okay. I don't have a problem with doing that. But it does get a little bit demotivating when you still have a ways to go. Granted, I am past the halfway mark, because, like we've talked about, I want to get down to 175. We will see when I get to 175 how I feel about the way my body composition and my numbers in the labs and things like that. But realistically, honestly, I truly have those days when I feel a little less motivated than before. And it could just be being older, being a little tired, just the things that come with having lived this life. I mean, I'm 61. I'm not 80, but, I'm getting up there. I've raised a half a dozen kids. I've had a full life already. I love my job and love my family. And I am actually pretty blessed at the moment. But it still gets to the point where, I still have so much further to go. I'm not there yet. And so I need the motivation. And so I just wrote down 5 things that help me to push through when motivation dips. So we've done this before, but I celebrate non-scale victories. So, focus on wins like loose clothing. Better sleep. I couldn't read my own writing. Better sleep, reduced cravings, improved labs, and increased energy. And one of the things that Simply Taisha said, one of the things that she noticed and the other people have noticed is your before and after may look the same, but you are calmer. So in other words, if you don't see a difference, you look at the mirror or whatever, and you don't see a difference. In the past, if you ate too much, made a mistake, didn't get your exercise in, didn't see a difference in the mirror or on the scale, that in the past, before we started on Mounjaro, or before we got the help, the medical help that we're getting, we would have given up. At least I would have. I don't know if anybody else would have out there, but I definitely would have given up. So I have a silly NSV to show you. So celebrate the NSVs. There are NSVs all over the place, from shoe size to size shirt you're wearing to being able to wear a ring. Like, I've got a bracelet. It's in the other room, and I kept trying it on before. It's this cute little bracelet, and I'll put a picture of it up here. But it's this cute little bracelet. It's got like 5 or 6 little things on it, and it has a gold little attachee, like, to connect it. I could not wear it, could not wear it, could not wear it, could not wear it. I put it on the other day, and I was able to wear it. So that is just a tiny little non-scale victory, but nearly 300-pound, over 300-pound Donna couldn't even come close. I would go to the store with my daughters, or I would go with friends or whatever, into these little boutique type or little stores inside the mall, and I couldn't buy anything there. Nothing fit, but I could buy jewelry. I could put earrings. But bracelets were kind of borderline because I had a really thick wrist. I was able to put on that bracelet, and I will show you. I will just do a real quick picture of the bracelet on, because I don't want to make you wait for me to go into my room, grab the bracelet, put it on. So I'll do a picture of it. So that was a non-scale victory for me that you wouldn't think of normally, and that is motivational. Oh, look, I can wear this bracelet, which means next time I go to one of those stores in the mall with my daughters, I can actually look at because I love jewelry. I love earrings. I'm not wearing them today, but I love earrings. I love bracelets. I have necklaces. I just love all that. And I was able to, I've always been able to wear earrings. I think that's one of the jokes among those of us who are on the larger side. Oh yeah, my earrings from high school still fit. Yeah. But yeah, so the bracelet fitting was something that was really big. I have a silly one for you. And that is, you guys know what this is, right? Let me just show you real quick. I don't have to wear this anymore. This is an extension for a band, a brassiere band, or a bra band. And I've been kind of still using it the last month or two. But I was at the very last hooks, or the very last things that the hooks go on. I took it off this morning. I don't need it. And my band is not tight. This is huge for those of us who have had to buy an extension on, the bands only go up to a certain size. So I always had to buy an extension even if I bought a larger band, because I'm not a big busted woman, so, but yeah. I don't need this anymore, and I don't plan on going back to it. So it is definitely something that, not scale victory. It's just a small one. I don't have to buy these anymore. I can just get a regular bra, and I don't have to worry about whether or not I can fit an extension on it. Ta-da! Done. So that was big for me. And of course, there's all the other things that I've talked about before. Reduced cravings, my labs are improved. So these are all things that we've talked about over. But definitely when you're starting to feel a little less motivated, you're starting to struggle, celebrating the NSVs can make a huge difference between whether or not you order in that thing that's going to take you over your calorie goal for the day, or your fat goal for the day, or whatever. Big deal for me. I do this a lot. I remind myself. I look at old pictures, and I look at new pictures and things like that. Okay, so that's number 1 of the 5 tips. Number 2, revisit your why. Go back to original motivation for the weight loss goals. For me, original motivation was the fact that I had such a high type 2 diabetes. I had a high A1C. That was original motivation. But I think secretly I was kind of hoping I'd be able to lose some weight at the same time, because I'd tried a gazillion times before. We all know what needs to be done. We just had that missing piece, you know? So go back to what your original motivation was. And remember, and I had other things too that again are going to be NSVs, but walking without pain. I had back pain, severe back pain, to the point I was in tears, and my kids were afraid to go anywhere with me because we had to find some place to sit every few minutes. That's not a concern. My knees kind of hurt a little bit, you know, because I'm over 60, you know, but my back, that back pain was so intense sometimes I didn't even want to go anywhere. And now I'm excited about trips coming up, doing things. I went to my daughter's thing in Vegas like a month or so ago, a little over a month ago. So I'm excited. She's coming out in middle of May, and there's this little craft place that opened up. I'll put the name of it. And I want to go there and walk around. Donna at 300 plus pounds would not want to go. I'd be afraid of bumping into tables and like a bull in a china shop type of thing. I wouldn't want to walk around. So I'm looking forward to her coming, and I want to go see this particular thing, this place that opened up that has a bunch of little small businesses that are all crafty. So I want to go there, and I'm not as worried about my 300-pound super wide hip self. I'm still wide-hipped, but, you know, super wide-hipped self going into a place like that and maybe bumping into a table and, you know, knocking everything over because I'm too big, or I was too big. So, yeah, I'm let's see, walking without pain, lower blood sugar, definitely. I went from 10 to 5.7. And then, like, in the next couple of weeks, like I said, I'm going to get my blood work updated to make sure I'm still doing good there. Feeling more confident. I think just in general, I'm much more comfortable with going into the office when I need to go into the office because I don't feel as uncomfortable with my size and the clothes that I wear and things like that when I was over 300 pounds, because there weren't a lot of options in the clothing over 300 pounds. So also write it down. Whatever that why is, write it down somewhere. Say it out loud. Post it on your mirror. So get a little sticky, or you can print something out. Post it in your mirror so you remember why you're on this journey, your weight loss journey. If you reconnect with your why, it can reignite your purpose. I have to do this on a regular basis, because it's real easy to get caught up in the day-to-day, and then, you know, you get on the scale at the end of the week, if you do it like I do it, and you're like, oh, I've only lost a pound, or I've lost it, and I didn't buy this, and I didn't eat this, and I didn't do that. But if you go back, overall, losing 80 pounds has made a huge difference for me. And I have all these tiny reminders. This is a tiny reminder. It's a silly reminder. It's of, you know, not something that everybody, you know, has had to deal with. If you weren't over 300 pounds, you may not have had to get an extension. I had to get extensions in order for my stuff to fit. And so the fact that I don't have to wear that anymore is super exciting. Okay, so third. Number 3, adjust the routine, but not the goal. Sometimes motivation fades because the routine feels stale. I've had a couple weeks like that. Try a new meal switch up, or switch up your walk route. Like maybe if you walk around the block, maybe walk the other direction around the block, or find somewhere else to walk, or like switch it up a little bit. So maybe you go to an inside walking thing, or you go swim, or you take up a class, or you go play pickleball, or you do something that will switch up your routine. Not where you're headed, just what you do to get to that point. I have to do that as well. Okay. Change your logging app. I've been really happy with MyFitnessPal, but if changing the logging app, you know, how you log your food or log your water or log your exercise helps you kick it into gear when you're feeling a little less motivated and a little bit exhausted with the whole thing, then that could help. These small changes can break monotony without derailing your plan. So that's number 3. For me, I've been doing more, you'll see I've got a haul. So I've been doing more with trying to change up what I'm eating. As I've mentioned, I'm not a good cook. I'm not very inventive or creative. I will grab whatever is most convenient, but I've been trying to incorporate and include more things, even changing up what I'm making for creamies. Because like I said, I'm pretty regimented about stuff, but I'm trying to shake it up a little bit. Like I bought lavash bread, and I'm going to make a flatbread pizza this week. And so I'm going to try some different, I love the different bowls. So I've been trying different kinds of bowls. So just find things that'll kind of shake it up for you. For everybody, it's going to be different. Maybe you want to try a different exercise. Maybe you're doing the treadmill and you want to try rebounding. Maybe you want to take a dance class. I thought about getting back into musical theater, and to do that, I would have to audition, and I'm borderline, because a musical, they have the dance numbers for the chorus and stuff, and then I would have to practice. So it would be some fun exercise versus just watching something on YouTube. I haven't decided whether I'm going to do that or not, but I'm thinking about auditioning for a musical around here. So we will see about that, maybe. Okay, so number 4, track the positive habits. So not just the scale. Now, I do tend to get on the scale every week just to check and see how I'm doing. And I don't allow that to make me feel bad if I didn't lose, because I don't lose every week. I lose sometimes I don't. Sometimes I'm a few pounds down. Sometimes I'm up a couple pounds. So like I said, it evens out to about a pound a week. You can create a habit tracker for wins like drinking water, taking your injections, prepping a meal, or skipping emotional eating. This is one of the things that I've been challenged by lately, is my stress over work, and whether I'm looking for something to eat because I'm worried. I'm not as worried now. It's getting a little better. I'll know for sure in the next couple of weeks how things are going, but I think we'll all be on edge for a little while. But yeah, it's been a challenge for me. I did find there was an app you can download that's like a Tamagotchi for habits, and you can add your things that you want to be reminded of or want to take credit for. I drank all my water, or I walked around the block, or I did a half-hour exercise video. So if you need something like that, then go. That would be another way to help kick your motivation in gear. Okay, and 5, the last one, lean into community. When you hit a wall, reach out to others who get it. Facebook groups, Reddit threads, YouTube communities. And it helps to hear the me too, or getting encouragement can lift you up. I can't read my writing. Lift you out of a slump faster than willpower alone. Now, for those of us who are taking the GLP-1s, we do get some help with the food noise and appetite suppressant, but the emotional things and the continue is just to keep going. The motivation after 15 months, 16 months can start to wane because it becomes pretty routine. And like I said, I'm trying to shake it up a little bit I'm starting proffies. I'm starting to try different things that I can eat that doesn't really add super, I don't need excitement. I had a half a dozen kids and my life was exciting. So it's not that. And I like being on my own. It's just so much different than it used to be, but I really enjoy it. Gives me a chance to kind of take care of myself when I was taking care of so many other people for so many years. So I'm good with that. But it can it can get kind of, I won't use the word lonely, but you know. So these Facebook groups, YouTube, find a YouTube creator in the GLP-1 space that you really like. Love Sheril over at Sheril Sunshine, and I'll put her thing up here. And I've got about half a dozen that Nikki Gets Fit. Love to watch her for all of her meal ideas and her grocery hauls. And I sometimes find new ones. Some of these new things that I'm doing, like with the Cheerios protein and stuff like that, I found that on a YouTube creators video. So, and Facebook, find a good Facebook. You don't have to join, or just find one that works for you, because we are all different in what works for us. And I've got a couple of Facebook groups that I really enjoy. And once in a while, I'll pop onto the Mounjaro Reddit to see what's going on there. So you can get, if you need it, the support and motivation to keep going, because we're all on this journey together. We just have different goals and different things that we want to do, or where we want to go. And like I said, if you have 100+ pounds to lose, and I'm at 80 now, it can get to a point where you're, you know, I've been doing this for X amount of months, and in the past, I would do it, like I said, 3, 4, 5 months or whatever, and do really well, and then drop, and then do it again, and then drop. This time, I've gone 15, 16 months, and most weeks it's okay, but I'm not going to lie and say that I don't have minutes, moments, weeks where I'm like, you know, what am I going to talk to them about today? I did exactly the same thing as I did last week. So, you have to pardon me, I was petting my dog and I have dog hair. So that's it for this week. It was a good week. Don't forget to go take a look at my haul so you can see what I bought for food this week. And I will see you next week. I hope you had a great week. Don't forget to hit like if you like the video. I'm going to try and cut some of this out because it's gone really long. But don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you enjoy this type of content. And I will see you next Saturday. So have a great one. Bye-bye. Thank you.